Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is the Royal Oak date reference 26330R in rose gold. It's 39 millimeters in diameter. It is a date watch. This is a long-running series in the Royal Oak catalog dating back to the early 1980s. It's an emblematic complication. It does have an owl-like aesthetic to it, and this is a modern take on that long-running trope. So the watch, 39 millimeters in diameter in rose gold. You can see in profile, it is 10.4 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, we just measure the case. You could see that the span across the wrist is 49.5 millimeters, but if we include these little intermediate links, they're called plots. Total distance across the wrist is a larger 53.1 millimeters, so as with all Royal Oaks, I recommend people consider it to wear a size or two larger than its rated diameter. So consider this more like a 41 in terms of how it wears. Now, the example in my hand was retailed back in 2013, and the 26330OR is a modern Royal Oak, meaning the bracelet is incredibly massive, and it feels it. On the wrist, eyes closed, it is stunning. You'd suspect it's larger than it is for the amount of gold here. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. I think this could be worn on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, but no smaller than that. Again, it really does wear quite large, although it also wears thin, so it'll slide easily under a dress cuff. 16 centimeters circumference wrist right here, and I've teased you with the weight of this watch, so we may as well throw it on Sammy the scale. Let's see, what is the mass of all this class? Okay, so that is 187.78 if we remove the little tag. That is a lot of watch in a 39 millimeter case. Taking a look, you can see one of the calling cards of any Royal Oak is the beautiful external decoration, the way these bracelet and case and bezel parts are finished. And that is a huge portion of the appeal of the watch. It is in many ways more exhaustively finished externally than internally, although internally it's good. Externally, it's industry standard. It is the standard. It sets the standard. You can see how the character lines of the bezel run through the mid-case and the case back, how the flared bevel along the lug hoods expands and then runs seamlessly, uninterrupted, down the links of the bracelet along the shoulder, vertical satination and profile, longitudinal satination across the top. You could see the inner faces of these intermediate links. They're actually polished in places where you can't see in between the links. We have removable links fixed by screws. That's the right way to make a bracelet on an expensive watch, allowing you to size it with a jeweler's screwdriver. And for good measure, you can see the bracelet is held to the case using screws and bars. I love that. Solid case back, Royal Oak branded, screw down crown, hexagonal to match the white gold bezel bolts. 50 meters water resistant, and because of the screw down crown and the 50 meter rating, this is surface swimmable. AP logo style, single folding clasp with a single trigger release. You have to pull the little AP logo to open up this clasp. Taking a look at the case, you can see it's in good shape. Most important thing that I could convey to you is that all of the white gold hex bolts on the bezel are below the plane of the bezel. That is really your yardstick for the condition and the state of polish and number of polishes on a Royal Oak, because when those bolts are flush to the bezel, that's AP's threshold for replacement. You can see this looks as recessed as the day these bolts left the factory, so the condition is very, very good indeed. The rounded octagonal bezel, originally inspired by a vintage diving helmet, and the muse of original 1972 Royal Oak inventor Gerald Genta, working on behalf of Audemars Piguet, was a revolutionary combination of an integrated bracelet and steel at the time, priced like gold, but hey, you can't beat the real thing. And right here we have that lovely reddish gold around a black Grande Tapisserie dial. It's a hobnail cut on a pantograph. And you can see when you get really close, steady the camera here, that there are 10 to 20,000 individual dots from the engraving of the pantograph, which is a 19th century artisanal mimicry engine that cuts these tiny dials in brass before they're then galvanized black. So we've got the day, we've got the date, we've got gold hands, logo, and indices with a polished inner bezel that's both attractive and reflects more light onto the dial. We'll take a look at the lume of this watch and get a sense of how it glows in the dark quite well. Not the calendar, but the hours and the minutes, certainly. Underneath the case back, we have a JLC 899 base, turning a 2810 module. AP has a nomenclature for this. They call it the 2325 base and the 2810 module. So unidirectional winding with ceramic rotor bearings, 4 Hertz beat rate, 5 position adjusted, 38-hour power reserve. It does not have stop seconds, although because the underlying JLC movement does have hacking, we'll say this has hacking. If you pull the crown, the movement will stop, although without running seconds, you would not know. It's a free-sprung balance for greater shock resistance and precision of adjustment, and of course, it drives the calendar complication. So taking a quick look around the case, you can see the condition from all angles. I'll demonstrate a rollover of the calendar. Just like that. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.